Welcome back to another episode of Kicking It with Coach Red, where we bring you all the news stories, takes, and opinions about your favorite teams from the Pacific North, fresh from the good to the bad to the Mariners.
The sweet Mariners.
It's been a while since we've been able to record. Life
Yes.
has got in the way a little bit of that, but we are back and ready to talk about the Mariners. Since we last spoke, it's been pretty dire straits. Father's Day weekend, though, brought a reprieve and put a little pep back in the step. But before we break into that too much, I want to tell you a little bit about us. If you're looking for a guy that is coming out of hibernation, just like big old Papa Grizzly Bear, and boy, am I hungry to talk about the Mariners today. If you're looking for a guy like that, you're looking for a guy like me, your boy Coach Red. You can find me on X at the Real Coach Red, on Instagram at the Real underscore Coach Red, TikTok at the Real Coach Red. Also find the show over on YouTube. Search Kicking It with Coach Red, like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and leave a comment or two for the algorithm. And if you're looking for a guy who looks like he's hunting the bears that were in hibernation, the resident mountain man himself, it's Cain.
Yep, I'm Kate. You find me on Twitter at Kate2406, TikTok and Twitch, Kate0624. Also follow the show's socials over on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Red Pod. Pause. Do it, freaking do it.
At the time of recording today, the Mariners are 36 and 34 for a 514 winning percentage, 4.5 games back of the division, and hold the last wild card spot. Um, it's been pretty rough.
Yeah. It's been kind of like the ebbs and flows, right? They have
Well,
a
the
great
crazy thing
game
is
and then
they
just nothing.
they've beat the teams that are good
Hmm.
and then have lost to the teams who are bad.
That's a fair assessment.
It's legitimately what happened. You lose a series to the Angels, you lose series to the Nationals, you lose a series to the Orioles, you
You get
lose a series,
swept by the
yeah,
Orioles.
swept by the Orioles. Then you go on the road and you
Okay. Like it wasn't great, but it also like could have been a lot worse of a road trip.
yeah, but then you sprinkle in a sweep of the Guardians who are in playoff contention. You win 2 out of 3 against the Twins. Like those are solid teams.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially in a tight kind of wild card race. Hopefully don't have to worry about that. Just take the division. But it's been a rough 2.5 weeks of Mariners baseball. It's been very frustrating.
It's been frustrating 3 weeks. If you're really, hopefully they're going to start to come out of it. Uh,
I mean, let's just kind of start on a sour note. Like Dylan Moore is utterly useless right now. Like big garbage. 0 for 20. Like it's rough. It's rough to see this slump because like he was what hit 260 something
he
with
was batting 285 actually.
and then with about 8 home runs around there. Yeah. Solid bat to have in the lineup, but just they're running Polanco out at second right now. Like it's weird.
They're running Polanco at
They
second.
are they are running Polanco at second base. At some like he played it once, and Dylan Moore has not gotten a lot of action in the
Yeah,
last
he's got to get right.
yeah. But
Wow,
it
let's okay, man, what a great start to the episode.
sure.
Peeing in my Cheerios. I wanted to talk about some fun things.
Oh, okay.
Jorge Polanco, walk-off winner. JP Crawford in his first Father's Day hits what
The Grand
ultimate,
Slam.
yeah, grand slam. And I got to meet the guys from Marine Layer at the Mariners game on Saturday. It was great. TJ, Lyle, awesome dudes. You know, you see their clips all over there. Way better at social media than we are, way more tech savvy than we are. But just awesome guys to just sit there and, you know, talk a little ball with. You know, big shout out to them. Go give, if you are a true Mariners fan, you should be checking in on the Marine Layer. Those guys do a bang up job, super dialed in, and have got good connections. And, you know, maybe someday in the future we'll do a collab. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
All right.
Just need
Um,
Kane to ramp up the hot takes.
yeah. I did get a bunch of text from Coach on Saturday. You were pretty hyped about meeting them,
Yeah,
so
it's
it
cool.
was
It's cool.
pretty cool.
But the news that kind of hit the baseball world by storm on Father's Day is
Yes.
Rafael Devers gets traded from Boston. So don't get to see him rats in this series. But
Woohoo!
goes to the Giants for two big leaguers, two prospects. One of the big leaguers gets turned, set to AAA. Wildness there. But we were talking about this last week when we were going to record. Things fell through. And the Mariners, where they're at right now, they're still in contention to do this. They've been on a trajectory to fight for a playoff spot every year. And I've seen reports out there that say they're willing to increase payroll and they're going to be big movers at the deadline. With their slide, it hurts, but you're seeing them get healthier. You've got Logan Gilbert back with the squad as of today. You have Luke Rayleigh that is on his rehab assignment.
You got
Your
George
starting
back.
staff seems to be mellowing out. You're getting amazing innings from Matt Brash and Andres
Oh yeah.
Munoz in clutch time. So, what we wanted to do is look at who on the major league roster right now is untouchable in your mind in trade discussions, and then look at the prospects, because if you're really trying to make a push, yes, you might have a big leaguer included in part of the deal, but with the Mariners farm system as strong as it is right now, you know, I was at an Everett Aqua Sox game and I watched Laz Montez have an absolute cannon. Like he can't be staying in single A much longer.
No.
Colt Colt Emerson, walk off sac fly. Luis Susabel went Yahtzee. Ty Pete flashing the glove in center. You know, it was a fun watch
Yeah,
for
they
sure.
have a really talented squad down there, and I mean, as you said, like I don't know how Laz Montez is not been promoted.
I think he's shown everything he
He's
needs to in
he's
high A.
leading, I think, every statistical category.
He's a beast, and he's got a hose.
Yeah, yeah, it's a big man. He is a big man.
Well,
That's
it's
for
gonna be.
sure.
Well, we're not gonna talk about the prospect yet. Let's talk about each player. We'll go one and one
Okay.
from your major league roster right now. Who is untouchable? And then we tell them why. And then if I've got something that I want to pile on, I'll do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with my first one. I think Cole Young is untouchable. Uh, right? I don't think you're
That's your
gonna,
one of one.
dude.
Your
Like
player at the major league level, one of one,
we know
untouchable.
we okay. Fine, Cal Raleigh. There you go.
Okay. Uh, AL MVP candidate, pretty strong.
Yeah,
Going through a little slump right now. Uh, on pace for arguably the best year to play by a catcher in forever.
ever, ever.
Agreed, 100%. Cal Raleigh, untouchable.
Like to see our starting catcher hit 260 and have 26 home runs on the year is insane.
All right. I'll take Julio, another guy that you have locked up long term.
That's fair.
Julio has turned it on. The power numbers,
Yeah.
once the heat starts coming up and rising, that's when the power comes.
He
He's
just
ahead of
has to get the
schedule.
ball off the ground. That's all I need from him.
He's getting more doubles. You're seeing that. He's still playing an amazing center field.
Mm-hmm.
He's still relatively young. There's no way that Julio gets talked about in any trade deals at this point in time.
Yeah, and also on top of that, JP Crawford.
That's your next pick. That's a good one.
That's a great one because oh boy, does JP Crawford look like he's returned. I mean, dude, his average might climb to 300 and above by the end of the year. He's probably gonna put up more home runs than he did, what, 3 years ago when we saw him
two
really,
2 years ago.
yeah, when he really blew up. I think he's poised to have a better year than that, and the glove has been amazing from him still.
There's no one that can take those reps right now.
Yeah.
I don't think that Cole Young can step in and play shortstop at the major league level right now. You're
Mhm.
not going to find much shortstops in the league outside of the ultimate superstars that can do what JP's doing right now, and those guys are not on the table.
Yeah.
So, um, my next guy is going to be Andres Munoz,
100%.
arguably the best reliever in baseball right now.
Mhm.
He's had one bad outing and has been nails pretty much all year. He's a lock to make the All Star game as a reliever,
Yeah.
100%. Back to back All Star games, team friendly deal.
And I
There's
think
no way that you're getting rid of Andres Munoz.
and I think he's frontlining the relievers in the All-Star game this year. I mean, he's gonna get his credit this year. Um to kind of stay on the pitching train, I'm gonna throw a little brash panda out there for you. Um he has been everything that we know he can be, what he is. Um,
It'll be exciting to
I
see him get more work as the year goes along and still in
yeah,
his rehab. But the Mariners are a team that have been rumored to be looking for bullpen help. You don't get rid of top flight bullpen arms when you need bullpen help.
no. Do we have anybody? Do you have anybody else in the bullpen that's untouchable?
I'm just going down my list how I want to go down it. If you want to
Okay,
keep going down the bullpen, you can. But I'm going to
okay,
switch to the starters real quick, and I'm going to
yeah.
throw out a guy that is going to throw you for a loop a little bit here.
I don't think this is gonna throw me the way you think it is.
Okay, Emerson Hancock.
I agree with that.
The main
One hundred
reason
percent.
the main reason is because I think he is more valuable to this team than another team would value him. I don't
Yes,
think that the return on investment will give you what you're getting from him. Do
he's
you
a great
have
five.
do you have Logan Evans in minors right now that can go in and take reps? Yes, but this year has shown more than any in recent history. You've had injuries to Logan Gilbert. You've had injuries to Bryce Miller. Wu has been very susceptible to injuries. La Piedra missed time at the tail end of last year. Having guys that can be competent starters at the big league level is key and something the Mariners need more of. I think that trying to trade out of this rotation is a fool's errand right now, unless you are getting a certified all star on the other
Yeah.
side.
Well, I think your other untouchable in the starting rotation is Brian Wu outside of Logan Gilbert because you're signing Logan at the end of the year. It's gonna happen.
I'll go ahead and throw Gilbert as my next untouchable because
Yeah,
especially with his comments after the Cal Raleigh extension, him being more open to staying
it's
with the
best
team
friend.
long term, I think that that is something that you definitely want.
100%. 100%. To be honest, my only person that I am okay with them trading out of the starting rotation is George Kirby.
I I could see Luis Castillo going as well.
Sure, but not this year.
I could see it definitely this year, especially
He's
if
got
you
to
need.
waive. He's got to waive the clause though. He
I,
doesn't get the his clause doesn't end until the end of the year.
the other thing too is I think that with Castillo, you're probably using his dollars to offset a little bit of a deal. So in that, I would say that you're probably looking at contender to contender potentially, or a
Yeah,
team with a lot of potential,
yeah.
um, like the Orioles potentially.
If they pick it up to that point. But I think you can get a massive haul for George Kirby, and George Kirby's going to cost you way more than Logan Gilbert's going to cost you. And I think you can relatively get Wu and Bryce on very team friendly deals.
We'll see. I'm gonna go back to the bullpen, and I'm gonna say that Gabe Spire is
Yes.
untouchable. You need a lefty specialist in the pen, and he has done that work for you this year. He's been
Hmm.
better against righties as well. Um, I think that that's a guy that 100% you need on this team, especially if you're trying to make a playoff push.
Yeah, and especially the only lefty they have in the bullpen. So I don't trust Saucedo in the role that
Well,
Gabe
Saucedo's
Spires.
been in the minors for
I
a
understand
large
that.
chunk of time.
I mean, I want to say one bullpen guy because he's been very solid, but he could be like, I don't know. Carlos Vargas has been very good for this
I
team.
don't think he's untouchable though. If that's going to be
That's
the guy that gets you the piece, I don't think that.
okay, that's fair. But I really like Carlos Vargas this year. He's really shocked me. So
I think that I only have one more untouchable right now.
I think I'm gonna stick with Cole Young for me. Just feel like he does all the right things. I think he's going to be a very solid second baseman for this team. There's really not really big openings at second for most teams. They kind of have their second baseman solidified. So I just think Cole Young fits this team too, especially a young prospect that they've been hyped about for a long time. So who's your last one?
I'm gonna go in on your Cole Young take a little bit. You've always
Okay.
been higher on Cole Young than I have been,
Yeah.
and I think that Cole Young can be an above average second baseman
Yes.
at the MLB level. I will say that that's the easiest position outside of catcher, I think, right now, that it's feasible to be an above average player at.
Sure.
The overall second basemen across the landscape of Major League Baseball aren't stellar right now.
Mhm.
Do I think if the right package came along and Cole Young was needed to be the centerpiece to go get you a certified stud, I think that you live with a platoon of Mastroboni and Dylan Moore and maybe Polanco later in the year if needed to get you by. And I think that you
They
have
get
Ryan
that.
Bliss, who started off the year pretty well. I think that him long term, he could also be a person that helps this team win games down the line.
That's also fair. I don't know. I just really like Julio. So
My other untouchable is Ben Williamson.
I like that too.
The reason being, he you're you're not getting much in the slugging, but he seems to have settled down a little bit. He started off pretty hot, then got cold, and I think he's adjusting to the big league game right now. You're seeing multiple outings in the last couple of weeks where he's getting multi-hit games on base quite a bit. He's not
He's a
walking,
merchant.
but he's also playing a pretty darn good third base. And unless you can go get a Gino Suarez, I think that Ben Williamson is more valuable to you than he is to another team. I think that for another team, he's a throw in piece that we would like to have, not a
Yeah.
guy that you're going to center it around. So I think that in the grand scheme of it, because you don't really have third base prospects sitting and waiting besides him, I think that having that at least as depth is probably more important than the value you're going to get in return.
You saying that, right? It kind of makes me want to jump back to last year's trade where we said Jonathan Clase to Toronto for Justin Turner, right?
No,
Like, like
give me Garcia.
was that the trade? Was that the straight across one?
Yep.
That makes you kind of sit there and go, because he didn't really want to be here, I think, for that, and he was also injured for most of the time he was here. And with all the kind of mess the outfield has been this year, having a Jonathan Clase in this probably would have helped a little bit. But it's just like, I don't know. I like Ben Williamson too, as you call him, a singles merchant. He is. He literally gets singles almost every single game. It's kind of crazy. He gets on base. That's all I'm saying. He's like
Yeah.
Brent Rooker. He either strikes out or gets on base.
Yep. And the other thing too is he drives up the pitch count and helps you get
Yeah.
to that bullpen.
Yep.
Yeah, Polanco's on the table for me. Garver's on the table. Canzone. I think Arena's kind of on the table for me too. If if Arena's what's needed because he's a guy also that's been pretty hot and cold this year. When he's hot, it's fun. When he's cold, it's bad. He where was it? I think it was down on their last roadie. He turned and watched a ball that barely cleared the fence. Didn't move. It was scraping the wall. I know that I've seen him make some awesome plays in the outfield, but if he's a piece that's needed to bring in some guys, I think that you kind of make that deal as well. I think the other guy that's
Wait,
kind
are
of
you
low
saying
key.
Randy?
I mean, I'm not going to protect him.
I
It,
mean, dude, okay, if we want to talk about Randy real quick, the lack of effort. The lack of effort is all for me, right? So we've had a real day on this show before. Huge Tampa Bay Rays fan, right? Huge Randy lover. Until he knows the Rays method. Once a player starts to decline, they ship him out of town,
yeah,
right? Like Randy has not been what was advertised. I mean, we can say that, but like the lack of effort in left field from him is atrocious at times. When he jogs to a ball and a guy gets a stand-up triple, that's a problem.
that's bad.
That's
Actually,
a problem.
I'm gonna throw one more guy into the untouchable
Okay.
category. It's Luke Rayleigh. When he comes
Yeah,
back, he gives you
that's
infield
some
outfield
juice.
versatility. He's the ultimate effort guy, and I think having him around this squad a little bit more is going to help.
The
When he can
juice.
get hot, like the guys really play up to it because he's
Middle
max
of,
effort all the time.
he is a middle of the lineup hitter.
Yeah, I mean, even you're probably going to bat him probably
6 or 7.
six in the way that this is rolling. Yeah, I'll take Luke Rayleigh in the six hole, being pesky on the base paths,
Yep.
spreading everything out, and just putting everything on the line every single time he puts the jersey on.
I agree.
He's untouchable for me.
I agree.
And also Dylan Moore's untouchable for me, but for just my heart.
Yeah.
And he does go through waves. We've seen it year in, year out. We're like, okay, he's finally turned the corner, and then he goes on a cold streak. But then guess what? He'll get hot again.
Yeah, I know it's coming, but just man, it's been bad. It's been bad.
All right. We're gonna go turn our eyes to the prospects.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? We're going to go top 11 because we already talked about one in Cole Young
Yeah.
and went back and forth on that. He's sitting still at the number 3 prospect. So
Yep.
we'll start with the number 1 prospect, and that is Colt Emerson.
I also think he's untouchable. That's your shortstop of the future. He's starting to prove things this year that all of us had questions about. And I think throughout his time in single A this year, he's making impressions. This kid's going to be the next shortstop of the Mariners after JP's gone. Um, I believe he's 2 years out. At the end of JP's contract, he will be called up, and he is untouchable for me. Coach Red, what do you got?
I also think he's untouchable. Saw him play live, wasn't blown away with him like I thought I was going to be. Um, Puts the ball in play pretty well, plays a pretty solid shortstop. There's
Barrels
still room to
balls
grow, but he's still young. So uh,
when
he's a
he's
guy that I
19.
think could be in the bigs potentially tail end of next year, probably 2027, right around the time JP's gone. Um, I'm not going to sit here and prospect hoard this whole thing and poo poo
Nope.
everyone because we can't do that. It's not feasible. For
I
me,
think there's two.
I think that Colt Emerson in his meteoric rise through all the scouts and he's done everything right. I think that this is a guy that you are theoretically going to be the centerpiece of your next wave. So I
Yes,
think that he sticks around because you typically are not seeing top flight hitting prospects go for anything but pitching. I feel like when you're making a trade for a position player, even a stud, they're usually seeing higher end pitching prospects that are involved in that because you're trading the stud fielder because you have guys that could take that position. You probably need something on the bump. So I don't think the Mariners need to make that play right now. So Colt Emerson stays for me.
same.
Number two is Laz Montez.
Also untouchable. There's uber upside to this guy. The ceiling is unreal. If you want a plus 40 home run hitter in your team every year that's controlled, this is your guy. He's going to be mashing along the likes of Cal Raleigh for years to come. Laz Montez is not a human being. He's something else. He's a specimen. That's all. That's all I got.
Has the opportunity to be your next Julio, right?
Yeah.
The tools are there, speed's there, can improve a little bit defensively, I think, but he's got a hose and has made some pretty solid plays. Uh, Sprint speed's got better. The power's always been there. The
Hmm.
average dipped a little bit last year when he got called up to Everett, but not this year. I
No.
think that he's a student of the game and he is your best bopper out of your minor league guys. And this is a guy that should be playing alongside Julio Rodriguez for about 7+ years.
Yes, I agree.
All right. Cole Young, we already discussed. We are
Yep.
on both sides of the fence on that one. Next one is Feldman Celestin.
I believe he's a centerpiece in a trade. Him and another guy that we will get to very shortly.
I think that he's touchable because I think that he's still far enough away.
Yeah, that's exactly
I
why.
think he could take over for shortstop and bump Emerson over to third. If we're really being true about it, I think he's your best pure shortstop in the
Mm-hmm.
minors. But
100%.
his timetable being so far away,
What it's
it
9,
hurts.
2029, I believe.
Yeah,
2028 or
MLB.com
2029.
MLB.com has it at 2028. And
Yeah.
yes, I do think that we've seen the reports of him in the Arizona League, and he was a very highly rated international signing prospect. But top 100 guy is a top 100 guy, and if that's going to be a piece that's going to go get you something, I'd much rather, with the depth of the farm system we have right now, I need something for the next 3 years so they can potentially fight for a World Series with the starting staff that they have assembled when healthy. Like I need me some
Yeah.
players that can play between the lines for 162.
Yeah. 100%.
And you're not going to get that from now. So I think that he is touchable.
Yes. Agree.
Next one is Harry Ford, and I'm going to start with this one. He's the most touchable.
The most touchable because
He,
there's nothing you can do with him. There's nothing.
there are things that you can do, but you can't do it this year.
No. And
He's your
he
catcher
is
in AAA. He's doing a great job at it. He's hitting the heck out of the ball.
powers
Realistically,
there, contacts there.
he's a guy that if the Mariners bring him up, you need him to get every day at bats. With Polanco plugging up the DH spot, you can't do that. Yes, he has taken some reps in the outfield, but it was very sparingly in a couple years ago. I think you could see him potentially play right if that was the case and teach him. I mean, he's a guy that might be making a transition to first base to be somehow on this team next year. But when you look at the catcher position, Adley Rushman is a certified stud, and Adley Rushman is sitting at like the 10th best catcher or lower this year based
Mhm.
on numbers. Like, if you can go get offense from a catcher who also is a good defender, I
Harry
mean,
Ford's
there's
your
going to be a
guy.
lot of teams that are pining for that.
I mean, hey, bro, they've
I
talked
mean,
about
his
Luis Robert trade
his
again.
stock has never been higher than it is right now.
No, there's no plausible way for him. And as you said, dude, he's hitting about 330 in AAA right now. His whole entire May was insane. Like, that's the reason Cole Young got called up, was because of the May he had, right? Gary Ford has the exact same thing and he's still going.
Yep. I mean, he's blocked and there's not much he could do about it. So I think
Yeah,
that I wouldn't be surprised if Jerry is trying to make a deal sooner than later to capitalize on that hot streak that he's on. Um, but we'll see. We'll see.
I agree.
Next guy, Johnny from Mello.
I think he's 100% untouchable, dude. Johnny Farmello is such a freak. He's such a freak. Everybody that covers him is so high on Johnny Farmello. I believe his first game back because he missed all last year, correct?
Most of last year.
Most of last year. First at bat goes deep center. And then I believe he went on like a tear where he hit six in like a week and a half. Like Johnny Farmello is an absolute stud when it comes to the bat. I think if they want a big bopper alongside with all the other cast of characters.
Yeah, I think that Johnny Farmello,
It's
I
such
could
a
see
fun name
I
too.
could see him get moved because even with the injury, he's a guy that shot up the national board. Even
Mhm.
last year, while injured, was still moving up, right? And not just like, oh, someone graduated, so they bumped him up a spot. Like he kept advancing like 10 spots an update. Like
Mhm.
I think that there could be a
Freak.
team out there that sees that and that's the apple of their eye. And if
Mhm.
he is going to be the reason to kibosh a deal, I want to preface this. I don't think that you see any of the guys, either Cole Young, uh, Celestin, Harry Ford, or if I throw in Mello in this, none of these guys are going for a rental.
No.
They're going for a solid player that all-star appearances or all-star potential that can really help the team right now. So
Mhm.
if that is their number one guy, I do not think the Mariners say no
Right.
based on just Mello. So for me, he is very close to untouchable, but not
I
untouchable.
just think he's a freak, dude. That's fair. We can differ on opinions on this.
That's the whole point. Next guy is Michael Arroyo.
This one's tough because he's also so toolsy.
I watched him get
And
hit by a pitch twice.
see the new Ty France?
He could be. He's the single A Ty France.
I
At least the day I was there.
I oh dude, everything I see about this kid is otherworldly, right? But again, I think he falls into this category of the if he's the nail in the coffin, like you kind of have to do it, right?
Um, I think that the Mariners already traded a Michael Arroyo in a previous trade with Dovelli Marte, who was a lot higher on people's board at the time.
Hmm.
I don't. I think that Michael Arroyo is the guy that gets you a rental. I think that the Michael Arroyo
Yeah,
can go get you Ryan O'Hearn,
sure.
right? I think that's the guy, maybe a lower level prospect. I
Yeah.
think at this point and down, some of the guys that we'll be talking about, if we think they're able to be moved, I think Arroyo for me is a guy that is has rental all over him, especially if it's high upside guy. Like Ryan O'Hearn is going bonkers this year, right?
Yeah.
So going and making that deal, I don't think you're seeing this for like a Justin Turner, right? That's not what
Yeah.
you're getting here. You're way further down on the prospect list for those older type vets.
Yeah.
But I think if you're getting a rental guy that's having a breakout year and is still in relatively prime years, this is where you could see
Mm.
prospect wise in the rankings for the Mariners, where that's where they're like, all right, we'll open it up for the rentals at this point.
Okay. Yeah. I can get behind that.
All right, the next guy, Durangelo. Yep, the switch pitcher.
D'Angelo Cogente.
Yep, that's exactly what I was trying to say.
I think he's untouchable. I think his tool, his tool, his whole entire kit is just so unique, right? And it kind of just depends on what they do with him. Um, but I do see the tremendous upside out of him from a righty standpoint. Dude throws gas, and I mean, his stuff's not the best from righty outside of his fastball. It's average, probably at best, but once he gets to the left, it's a little bit more technical. Velos drop, but the command goes way up. So it just depends if they let him do the switch thing. I think he's just untouchable just for his entire kit, dude.
I don't think that he's moved up enough. I mean, he's cracking the top 100, which is good
Hmm.
because he was picked in the 20s last year in the
Hmm.
first round. So for him to make that move into the 100s, I think is a good sign, right? I do think the uniqueness and what the Mariners have been able to do in the gas lab, right? And during another off season and really being able to dial in and focus some of those things. I think that this is one where he would be valued a lot higher by the Mariners than he would be valued by another team.
Yes,
So in that case, I think that he would be untouchable.
sure.
Next guy is Orion Sloan.
I also think this dude's untouchable. Man, he is. I think he's the next big thing. Every outing,
Everyone was surprised that he signed as a second rounder.
like that dude is disgusting. Uh, High strikeout numbers. It's really all I ever see out of Ryan Sloan. Uh, and I do see a day where he's pitching at T-Mobile Park, and this park benefiting the hell out of him. Uh, he is just everything I want and more in a pitcher.
I think he's untouchable just because I
Hell
think he
yeah.
has the fastest path to the big leagues.
Yes, he does.
Um, Even though he's drafted out of high school. It's a kid that I think has turned heads already. And
Yeah,
if the stamina is there, I could see him as early as next year if they need him.
dude, he's got such swagger about him. He's got this swagger about him. I just love it. Uh, mid to up, like upper 100 mile an hour fastball with a nasty slider. Please,
All right, we'll go to the next person. Speaking of nasty sliders, it's Logan Evans.
untouchable. Because if you trade George Kirby, slots right in.
I think that if someone wants him over George Kirby for being younger and less wear and
Yes,
tear, he's not untouchable. But I think
he is for me.
he's the pitcher for me that is the closest to untouchable because he's MLB ready right now.
Yeah,
And you do not
that's.
have enough starters that you can get extended play time that are MLB ready
Mhm.
right now in the minors.
I agree. Logan Evans' story is just so amazing, and what the Mariners have been able to do with him, um, I think he benefits long term being with this team.
Next player is Tyler Locklear.
He's another one that's got the bullseye on his back, dude. I don't know what else he has to do to just say GTFO to one of these two clowns we have playing first.
I mean, I don't know if he like slept with somebody's girlfriend or something
Like,
because Solano has picked it up in the last couple of weeks.
not enough to warrant
Rowdy
having a
Telez
roster spot.
has given you the pop when you need it. I there's got to be another reason why the Mariners have not brought up Tyler Locklear.
Yeah,
So for me, that lends to he's not untouchable. He's touchable because they've had ample opportunity to give playing time to a guy that was a top 100 prospect last year, has
and
shown his power at the big league level. His bat has in AAA this year has got a little bit more well rounded. The swing and miss isn't there as much. He's done what you've needed him to do, and you aren't rewarding that. So if you're looking in some of these packages where they might need a first baseman,
there you
I
go.
there's a play to be had there.
Yeah, it makes no sense. The dude is hitting over 300. He started the year as hot as Cole Young. They were on pace practically with batting average before he got called up. What are we doing? Yet we're trotting Donovan Solano out there every time we see a lefty. I don't care if there's a lefty or a righty. He's young. Let him get every day at bats.
Agreed. Um, so that's 10 minor league prospects, but I'll throw the next one in because it's a name that we've talked about in the past, and it's Ty Pete.
This one's so hard. He's so fun. I mean, I don't care what you do. He's untouchable for me. Yeah, he's got so much versatility as a player, and the defense is so plus, so plus.
Well, he's making the transition because of his athleticism from shortstop to center field. He's done that. Um, when I look at him trying to transition back to shortstop, it's pretty tough because you have guys like Arroyo that could play short, who's not even playing short right now because of Colt Emerson. You've got Celestin. You've got guys that slot higher than him
Mhm.
on that chart. When you look at your outfielders of the future, I think that you see Laz as one of those guys. And I think Vermello probably has the upper hand on him, at least how we sit right now. I could see him being a piece. I think that because I think in my mind he has a higher prospect pedigree than Michael Arroyo. So
Mhm.
I think that he would be involved in a higher end deal, which
Sure.
is crazy that preface this like some of these guys might be rentals. I think out of the guys we've talked about so far, the only guy that can qualify as a rental type guy for me is Michael Arroyo. Everyone else I think comes with a premium player attached. So and that could just be hubris and knowing this minor league system, seeing where the Mariners are at in the top 100, following these guys.
I
It's going to
just
bias that, but I do think that it,
Type Heat
it's
just
a good time as ever to go make moves, to
I
go
agree.
complete, like go compete in the playoffs, not just attend the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like go and fight for a World Series.
Yeah.
Go do it.
Yeah. I mean, as you were saying that with Type Heat, I think just the dude's a freak. Like as you said, his athleticism off the charts. Uh
It could come back. That could be your Adam Jones.
yeah, I mean the bat too has started to look like a big plus. Uh Swinging a good stick down there in Everett. And I just think watching him and Julio fly around an outfield together would be so sweet.
You know what else would be so sweet? If people would go and follow us on social media. That'd be the
It's true.
sweetest thing. We're both fathers. It could be a belated Father's Day gift. And if you want to gift me your follow, you could do that on X at the real Coach Red, on Instagram at the real underscore Coach Red, TikTok at the real Coach Red. Also find that show over on YouTube. Search Kicking It with Coach Red. Like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and leave a comment or two. Kane, where you at?
You can find me over on Twitter, K2406, TikTok, and Twitch, K0624. Also follow the show's socials over on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Red Pod. False. Do it, freaking do it.
And as always, stay fresh.
Stay fresh, peeps.
Peace.